we're back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. My name's Chad.
I'm Alana.
And we are
The Bushbirds.
Hey! We want to say thank you for subscribing today.
We appreciate you.
We appreciate every one of you because you're amazing. You're absolutely amazing. Yeah. All right. And we're excited. Let's shimmy for how amazing everyone is. Boom.
Amazing shimmy.
Yeah. Positive vibes. Positive vibes. Yo, 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 yo. We're positive vibes. Yeah. We're going to see that tune back there. We're going to talk about Lazarus, right? Jesus raised Lazarus from the dead, Elena. Did you know that?
I did know that.
Yeah. So Jesus wasn't the first one to come back to life. He raised many people from the dead in his walk on the earth. You know, whether you believe that or not, he did it. But I wanted to go ahead and show these things real quick. You ready to get into it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. First of all, you know what time it is. It's Bushbirds time. We got a lot of stuff over here. Oh, my goodness. Look at this. Accessories. We got drinkware. Drinkware. Do you wear it?
Drinkware.
Let's hope the cup works so you're not wearing the
I mean,
drink.
they do say silverware, so.
Oh, that's true.
You know.
Look, Amazon, we got it just loaded down with stuff. Elena's got all kinds of stuff on here. We put it on there before we buy it too, so that way we'll get the penny back. Because it's like 1%
support
commission.
Yourself, you know.
Yeah, that's true. All right, check this out. I also wanted to show this off right here before we get started. This dude, this is my guy right here. I love this dude. He's like an Assyrian. What do we look up? He's kind of like Catholic, but he's an Assyrian Christian, which, you know, explains all that. Assyrian Christian who I guess it's kind of like Orthodox Christians. They're basically like Catholics, only no Pope.
Yeah, and he is supportive of the Pope. He's
okay.
talked about it.
Yeah.
So
I think that's just what's going on anywhere.
Yeah, they're like Orthodox.
Yeah, Christ the Good Shepherd Church. Dude gets me pumped about it. He's really cool. I like his accent too. Anyway, go check that out.
Now, he's in Australia.
Yeah.
He's Iraqi, and so it's a cool accent.
Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah. And then they've got all kinds of different channels that talk about him. He's a pretty awesome dude. All right. Also this morning, let me make sure we're on the right page here. Right. I looked up because I had heard, Elena, that Jesus had brothers and sisters.
Yes.
Have you heard that?
I have recently.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd ever heard it before.
Never in my life did I hear that until recently. And I looked it up. Now, his brothers' names were James, Joseph, Hoses, which is like Joseph, Simon, and Jude. I didn't know that. The sisters are unnamed, which is kind of like one thing I don't like about history is how women were kind of left out of it.
A lot, yeah.
Like what the most important beings on the planet are left out as far as I'm concerned. I mean, I've seen so many beautiful things that Elena has brought to my world. That's just, it seems like magic, you know, it's so beautiful. And it's like, how can you leave that out? Right. So today we're going to talk about some of the women in Jesus's life, along with Lazarus, his two sisters. Yeah. They were the crew, they were hanging out. But
Mary and Martha, right?
Yeah. But I was excited about, or I was just thinking about how weird it would be to be Jesus's brother. You know what I mean? Like, man, how do you live up to that?
I'm not sure.
Right?
Yeah.
They're sitting at the table and he's like talking to Joseph like, hey, Dad. And they're like, stop calling him Dad. He's not your dad.
He's not your real dad.
He's not your real dad. God's your dad, right? Like, how do you beat that? He's like, well, God's my dad, so whatever. I'm here to save the earth. You know, they're all carpenters or whatnot, and they're like, yeah, I have to make a living. You're off out here sleeping in tents trying to save everybody. Huh? I'm over here working my butt off. What's the deal, right?
Yeah.
Can you imagine when they were kids? Like, luckily, Jesus was a good kid because he could have been like, you know, they get in a fight. He's like, ha, I killed you, brought you back to life.
He could do that a lot if he wanted to, right?
You don't want to stay dead, do you? Quit messing with me.
So I wonder if they had a family business because he was a carpenter too.
Yeah.
So did they all work together? I want to know more details.
He's just like, finished already? Like, Jesus, come on, dude. You got to put some work into it. Quit just making things appear.
Do the work yourself. Do the manual labor.
Because I remember back growing up, man, like me and my buddy were throwing darts at each other once to see if we could jump out of the way. And one got shoved right into his shin, you know, and I had to go over there and pull it out. And I was like, just be still, dude. Can you imagine? Like stuff that Jesus would do? Like, ha, pushed you off this cliff. Whoop, brought you back. Don't mess with me.
Boys are weird.
Yeah.
Men, too. We saw those guys having slingshot wars, like literally hitting each other with rocks.
Yeah. They're playing ball. He's like, I heard a comedian say that once, like they're playing ball and you know how kids are like, well, it's my ball, I'm going home. Jesus is like, well, it's my earth, get off. Oh man, or if Mary was like bragging about her kid to the other parents, you know, the other parents are like, oh yeah, they did this, they said daddy for the first time, they said mama, and Mary's like, yeah, I was giving him a bath the other day and he just crawled right on top of the water. They're like, great, here comes Mary, Jesus's mom.
What did he do today?
Yeah, let's go. All right, so we're gonna go check out some stuff. Let's do it. So yeah, the brothers, we already looked at that. I want to read where chapter 11. This is funny. We read chapter 10 the other day. This is how the Gospels go, right? It's just like one story after another. He had 3 years to pack it all in. They're like, yeah, and the next day he just did this. The day before he was healing this blind guy. Here's the next day. So chapter 11 in John chapter 11. Now a man named Lazarus was sick. He was from Bethany, the village of Mary and her sister Martha. See, that's cool that he said that, you know. Because if you think about it, back then, let's go back over here for a second. Back then, they didn't talk about women a lot. Over in that kind of area of the world, right? It's kind of like, ooh, I know the Islamic faith, they believe that women's brains are deficient. So it takes 2 women, Alana, to testify against one man because their brains are deficient. So that equals 1 man. And then, of course, one lady was giving her testimony and talking about how she was told that, no, you got to cover your entire body because any part of your body showing could tempt a man, and then it's your fault if he's tempted.
Yeah, she said even your fingers.
Yeah.
Right. So this teacher had come into her school to tell them this. And so she was like, oh, I wanted to do good. So
yeah. That's basically the equivalent of when somebody gets, you know, S-aged or whatnot, S-aid, and they're like, well, what was she wearing? Right? Like, that's just what that is. That's so crazy to me. They get 10, I think it's like 10 lashings or more because if they do get SH'd or something, because it's their fault that they tempted the man.
Oh, yeah, they could be.
It's crazy stuff. So
did as well.
That part of the world, they just didn't really respect women. So it's kind of cool that Jesus is talking about this is the land of Mary.
The village of,
The village of Mary and Martha. So it's giving them a little credit here. This Mary, whose brother Lazarus now lay sick, was the same one who poured perfume on the Lord and wiped his feet with her hair. Okay.
That was a very expensive perfume, if you heard the story. And other people were like, why did you do that? We could have sold it. But it was important to her.
Judas Iscariot said that because he wanted the money.
Was it him?
Yeah, he was taking money from the bag. Yo, we could have put that money in this bag and I could have had my tax. So the sisters sent word to Jesus, Lord, the one you love is sick. Okay. And when Jesus heard it, Jesus said, this sickness will not end in death. No, it is for God's glory so that God's Son may be glorified through it. Well, let's see what he means. Jesus loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus. Yeah, these people were a crew, Alana, back in the day.
Yeah, they grew up together, right?
Yeah, they were friends. That was their crew. You know your crew in school that you had? It was like a small group of people. This was their crew. Could you imagine them at the talent show in school, right? Yo, this is my crew. We're studying the Torah. Want to see what's next? Well, hold my menorah. This is my homie Lazarus. Mary and Martha are the girls. My name is Jesus, and I'm here to save the world. You know it.
Word.
Word to your mama. Word to my mama and my brother's father. My 4 brothers' father. All right, then. Let's get back to it before I ruin the word of God over here. Jesus loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus. Notice how he put that first, the women first there. That's cool. This is really cool, this whole story, because I'll show you. Yet, when he heard that Lazarus was sick, he stayed where he was 2 more days. Now, that was a weird part to me when I first read it. Like, why would he stay there knowing that he's sick when he could hurry over there and make him not sick? He could heal him.
Right.
But he's already healed people, right?
Yeah.
He's already healed people. He hasn't brought anybody back to life yet.
That's true.
I don't think. Maybe he has, but
I think he did it twice, right? The sick girl and Lazarus.
Okay.
I think that's it.
Then he said to his disciples, let us go back to Judea. But Rabbi, which means teacher, right? They said, a short while ago, the Jews tried to stone you, and yet you were going back there? He's like, bro, but I didn't get stoned. You know what I'm saying? Let me make sure we're on the right page over here. Jesus answered, are there not 12 hours of daylight? A man who walks by day will not stumble, for he sees by this world's light. It is when he walks by night that he stumbles, for he has no light. After he said this, he went on to tell them, our friend Lazarus has fallen asleep, but I am going there to wake him up. And then the disciples were like, they obviously didn't understand a lot.
Oh, yeah.
He replied, Lord, if he's asleep, he'll get better, yo. That's how you get better. You sleep it off. And Jesus was like, Jesus had been speaking of his death, but his disciples thought he meant natural sleep. So then he told them plainly, Lazarus is dead, y'all. Oh, glad you cleared that up. They were like, oh. And for your sake, I am glad I was not there so that you may believe, but let us go to him. Then Thomas, called Didymus. Yo, I would have been called him Didymus too. I think that's a cool name. And we're going to change your name from Thomas to Didymus. They did this a lot in the Bible. You know what? I like your name. It's cool, Simon, but we already have another Simon, so we're going to call you Peter. And your name, Thomas? Do we have another Thomas? Maybe, maybe not. Anyway, it's Didymus now. Then Thomas, called Didymus, said to the rest of the disciples, let us also go, and we may die with him. I don't know what that means. On his arrival, Jesus found that Lazarus had already been in the tomb for 4 days. 4 days. He laid there dead already. Bethany was less than 2 miles from Jerusalem, and many Jews had come to Martha and Mary to comfort them in the loss of their brother. When Martha heard that Jesus was coming, she went out to meet him, but Mary stayed at home. She's like, I'm going to stay here with the other guys. You can go meet him. Lord, Martha said to Jesus, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. But I know that even now God will give you whatever you ask. Right? So Jesus said to her, your brother will rise again. And Martha answered, I know he will rise again in the resurrection on the last day. But what about right now, though? And Jesus said to her, I am the resurrection and the life. He who believes in me will live, even though he dies. And whoever lives and believes in me will never die. Do you believe this? She said, yes, Lord. I believe that you are the Christ, the Son of God, who was come into the world. And after she said this, she went back and called her sister Mary aside. The teacher is here, she said, and is asking for you. When Mary heard of this, she got up and quickly went to him. Now, Jesus had not yet entered the village, but was still at the place where Martha had met him. This is what I thought was so important, right? He wanted to wait for Mary. She was at home. He could have totally went over there, brought Lazarus back to life, but it was important that his crew was all together for the scene, that his buddies, Mary and Martha, were there to see it as well.
Yes.
It was important to them. They were their crew. This was the people he grew up with that he loved. It was important they were all together, and that's awesome. That's how important women were to Jesus.
Yes.
He had women walking with him, right? We had that comment the other day, you pledge your allegiance to a male deity, and then all of a sudden you start loving men and blah, 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 blah. And like, nah, men screwed a lot of things up. Women are the light of the world here. You know what I mean? And Jesus loved them just as much. Now, Jesus had not yet entered the village. When the Jews who had been with Mary in the house, comforting her, noticed how quickly she got up and went out, they followed her, supposing she was going to the tomb to mourn there. When Mary reached the place where Jesus was and saw him, she fell at his feet and said, Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. And he was like, yeah, I went through this with your sister. When Jesus saw her weeping, and the Jews who had come along with her also weeping, he was deeply moved in the spirit and troubled. Where have you laid him? He asked. Come and see, Lord, they replied. Look, verse 35, Jesus wept.
Yeah, that was his friend.
The shortest verse in the entire Bible.
Oh, is it?
Is Jesus wept. Yeah, the second one is don't forget Lot's wife, or remember Lot's wife. Yeah, don't ever look back.
So he saw all of their sadness, and of course this was his friend, but I guess their sadness is what impacted him.
And what this stood out, the reason why this stood out to me is because this right here shows that this male deity, right? This man experienced every part of human life.
Right.
He was perfect, but he experienced everything. We remember he was in the synagogue in the temple, right? And he threw over tables and kicked over chairs and got anger. He got angered. He was like, you've turned this into a den. It's supposed to be a den of prayer, and you've turned it into a den of thieves, right?
Right.
So we've seen the anger. We've seen all kinds of things, the love. But this is the first time we get to see the sadness, him weeping and crying for his friend. Yeah. Even though he knew he was going to bring him back to life, he still experienced that. That's so moving and beautiful to me. Then the Jews said, see how he loved him, right? They saw the same thing. That's awesome. But some of them said, could not he who opened the eyes of the blind man have kept this man from dying? Because he just did that, remember? The blind man with the dirt in his eyes, the holy spit.
Yeah.
Jesus, once more deeply moved, came to the tomb. It was a cave with a stone laid across the entrance. Okay. Take away the stone, he said. But Lord, said Martha, the sister of the dead man, by this time there is a really bad odor, for he has been there 4 days. So he smells bad. Should we not do this? Then Jesus said, did I not tell you that if you believed, you would see the glory of God? Uh-oh. So they took away the stone. Then Jesus looked up and said, Father, thank you that you have heard me. He prayed to his dad, you know. I knew that you always hear me, but I said this for the benefit of the people standing here, that they may believe that you sent me. That's why he wanted them all together. When he said this, Jesus called in a loud voice, Lazarus, come out. And the dead man came out, his hands and feet wrapped with strips of linen and a cloth around his face, because they did that back then.
Yeah.
They wrapped Jesus in the Shroud of Turin. They went and spent good money on that.
Someone went and bought a really nice linen to put on him. Mm-hmm.
It was a herringbone pattern, which was expensive back then. And Jesus said to them, take off the grave clothes and let him go. Therefore, many of the Jews who had come to visit Mary and had seen what Jesus did put their faith in him. But Alana, some of them went to the Pharisees and told them what Jesus had done.
Tattletales.
Isn't there always somebody out there? We've experienced this the whole time. Look at what happened with Justin Baldoni in the Blake Lively saga, right? They see your joy. They see your happiness, your love, your glow, your light, your beauty, and they just, it eats them alive. I got to do something about this. I got to mess this up. Dude, he just brought somebody back to life, but screw this guy. I'm going to tell the Pharisees on him. What are you doing?
Oh, yeah.
You know, like, man, just some people can't handle it. Some people can't handle the joy.
It angers their spirit.
Yeah.
They've got some negativity going on or something.
Yeah.
Right?
Saw a dude the other day, some kind of DJ, right? And he was messing with this was in a foreign country, and there was a bunch of people crowd around. And he was messing with this mixer, and he was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And people were having fun and enjoying it, you know. Some dude walks up and pulls the mixer off the table, and they're like, oh, yelling at him, no, put it back, put it back. He's like, huh. It's like, man, there's always that one just jerk out there, that one asshole that's out there to just try to ruin your good time. They did it to Jesus. They're going to do it to us, you know. I mean, they saw him bring somebody back to life and still did it.
It's shocking. It's hard to grasp that one.
Yeah. But some of them went to the Pharisees, and the Pharisees were the bad Jews, right? Like there were just regular Jewish people, like there's regular Americans, there's regular people all over the world. It's the leadership that's always corrupt. These were the corrupt people, the Sanhedrin, right? They're the ones that were down at the bottom of the mountain when Moses came down, and they were like, nah, we're going to worship this cow, man. You've been gone too long.
You took too long.
We're going to worship bathroom mat over there. What are we accomplishing, they ask. Here is this man performing many miraculous signs. If we let him go on like this, everyone will believe in him. I wonder why. Could it be the miraculous signs?
You guys have never... Where it said that they called a meeting with the chief priests and the Sanhedrin.
Yeah, they called a meeting with the Pharisees, the chief priests, Pharisees, and the Sanhedrin. These were the bad dudes, right? They're the ones that basically took control of the Bible, right? God gave them 10 commandments, and then they made up like over 600 rules of things that you could and couldn't do. They charged them a tax to come sacrifice at the temple tax. Like, hey, you're coming to give your sacrifice to the Lord, but you're going to have to pay us first. There's always a way to pay us for something.
Yeah, that's where the money changers were, right? Because it was half a shekel. And so you'd have to change money in order to do it.
What are we accomplishing, they ask. Here's this man performing many miraculous signs. If we let him go on like this, everyone will believe in him. And then the Romans will come and take away both our place and our nation.
Our place.
Yeah, our status.
Yeah, being in power and in control of everything, and we can't have that.
No, because that's more important. Then one of them, named Caiaphas, who was a high priest that year, spoke up. You know nothing at all. I am the smart one here. You do not realize that it is better for you that one man die for the people than the whole nation perish. Well, that's what they were saying, dude. He did not say this on his own, but as high priest that year, he prophesied that Jesus would die for the Jewish nation.
Okay.
And not only for that nation, but also for the scattered children of God. Ooh, that's us Gentiles. To bring them together and make them one. Oh, we still
So he
haven't
knew
done
what was
that.
up.
We still haven't done that. We need to come together as one. We did that one time in history. So from that day on, they plotted to take his life. Okay. Therefore, Jesus no longer moved about publicly among the Jews. Instead, he withdrew to a region near the desert to a village called Ephraim, where he stayed with his disciples. When it was almost time for the Jewish Passover, many went up to the country of Jerusalem for their ceremonial cleansing before the Passover. They kept looking for Jesus, and as they stood in the temple area, they asked one another, "What do you think? Isn't he coming to the feast at all?" Right? But the chief priests and the Pharisees had given orders that if anyone found out where Jesus was, he should report it so that they might arrest him. Arrest him for being such a good guy.
Yeah.
Bringing
He
people
brought
back to
someone,
life.
yeah, we can't have that. Let's get rid of him. Take him out. That'll be better for us.
Mm-hmm. All right, we're going to stop right there today. Yeah, arrest him. Can you believe that? Like, just think about these times, right, where you're sitting here as a Jew waiting for the Messiah. This is your whole goal in life. That's what all the rules were about. All these stupid rules, man. You got to do this. You got to do that. What? One time he was like, your disciples didn't wash their hands before they ate. That's a sin. And he was like, bro, can you guys get a life, please?
Yeah.
Can you just get a life? You know what I mean? You guys have dirty minds and dirty hearts, and you're worried about their hands. I got this. I'm the Messiah. He was bringing a new covenant. He was chasing all those rules away. We've heard so many times, but when we started doing this, people say, "Oh, I'm not into religion. I'm not into religion." Well, we're not either. Neither was Jesus. There was no Christianity back then. He was just teaching people stuff, the new way of life, right? He told them that the temple would be destroyed and never be there again. Well, guess what? It was destroyed like 2 or 3 times in history. He said that Babylon would never be inhabited by its people, right? It's still empty, by the way. The borders of Babylon, who was it? Saddam Hussein tried to build a palace there. It is now abandoned. Nobody lives in Babylon. Oh, it's not inhabited by its people. The things he says comes true. Watch Expedition Bible. They archaeologically prove all this stuff from the Bible. It's amazing stuff.
It is, yeah. It gives you some foundation to work with as far as, sometimes you would just wonder about it. I mean, you're reading in a book, where did this come from? And then this man specifically goes to these places and explains it to you, shows it to you, so you can see it with your own eyes.
Yeah, we were watching a video last night about the sling, like that David used, right? Some young guy got inspired probably by the House of David show, right? And he was like, I'm going to look into this. Well, it turns out that slings were pretty big in history. Every military force back then, before guns and all that, were using slings because they literally, like, he measured it, had the same, this dude, he practiced for 2 weeks and then measured the speed. It was literally the same speed as a .38 pistol, right? And one of the comments was, who was the big, the giant? What was
Goliath.
Goliath brought a spear and David brought a gun, basically.
Basically, yeah.
Because they would make little lead balls or pebbles. They had rounded.
They had lead, so they would make molds and pour shapes.
Yeah.
And it was a big deal. Like all over the world, people were using that.
Yeah.
As a
and the thing was, he talked about how, with arrows and stuff, you would run out of arrows, but you never ran out of rocks and stones, man. You could just be flinging that stuff. And then he showed how it would go through ballistic gel and through skulls and through all this stuff. It was deadly stuff. They had tools to pull stuff out of your body because it would get lodged in there, rocks and stuff. That's crazy. I didn't realize it was so powerful. And you think about somebody he talked about people who were really good at it and really had been practicing a long time, like a pitcher. For a baseball team, could make it go faster than that, faster than a .38 pistol.
Yeah, they had whole teams of them, just like they had archers.
Mm-hmm.
They had what did they call them?
The slingers.
Slingers and archers.
Yeah, boy, I want to be one of them slingers, man. That sounds cooler than archer. Anyway, I think archery is cool too.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is really crazy that they did constantly. They were following him around everywhere, just looking for a reason to take him out. And then in the end, as we know, they didn't ever come up with a reason. Pontius Pilate was like, this blood is on your hands because me and Herod was a douchebag. Him and Herod, neither one found anything wrong with the guy. He didn't do anything wrong. And all they could say is, crucify him, crucify him, crucify him. Well, what about this? What about that? No, crucify him, crucify him. They didn't come up with anything wrong. Oh, he healed somebody on the Sabbath day? Oh, goodness. That's why he was trying to go against religion. He was a rebel, total rebel against this religion that man brings into it. So, yeah. And we're not saying that you don't need to go to church. That's up to you. Yeah. That's totally up to you. I believe that anybody who's following Christianity, whether it's Catholic, Orthodox, blah, 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 go down the list, is a good place to be, right? The main important thing is that you read your Bible. It's a living word. You'll get out of it what you need, and that's what's up. It's so easy. Think about to bring people to Jesus, the best thing you could do is just buy them a Bible, because then they're kind of obligated to read a little bit. Tell them, start in the New Testament, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Read that. Even if you want to prove it wrong, just read that. Read the word. That's where the red letters are, the words of Jesus himself. That's the most important part. Read that first, go from there. Then you'll be interested in this, maybe interested in that part. But that's the most important part. Read that. And then you've done your job. You don't have to preach to these people. You don't have to judge them.
Yeah.
None of that.
No. Do your own research.
Do your own research.
It's all your own personal walk. And you find out what speaks to you, what's the truth. That's up to you.
Absolutely. Jesus himself said, I'm not here to judge you. I'm here to save you. Right. So you don't want to think you're better than Jesus. Right. So you shouldn't judge people. I started writing a song recently. It says, I'm not here to judge you because I can't see anything wrong. We all sing the same song, right? I can't see what's in your heart. I can't look at your heart and see what's in your mind. I don't know. That's not for me to judge. I'm here to love you. We're here to love you and invite you to sit with us, but we're not here to judge you. That's not our place. You do what you need to do in life. Whatever that you think your will is important. You do what you need to do.
I saw someone one time say, you're not obligated to believe, but I'm obligated to tell you. So then you make your own decisions and figure it out.
That's beautiful. We're on fire and it's on our heart. So here it is.
Yeah.
All right. That's it for today.
Yeah. Have a good day.
We love you.